Welcome back to Tommy Talks, episode 4. I hope you enjoyed last week. We had a big Matty Taberner, one of the weirdest and strangest units we've ever seen, talking about Zed Run. We're in contacts with Zed Run and hopefully they can look after a great man. But this week, very kind enough to have what I think is one of the greatest football stories I've come across, and I'm very lucky to have the King, Majak. Welcome to Tommy Talks, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on.
What's it like? How have you enjoyed Perth? And actually, I should just start. How's the grand final celebrations been? You look a bit dusty, mate.
I'm starting to get my voice back. I think I've never celebrated so hard. Starting to slow down now, but it was just unbelievable. So.
Let's go through the last 4 weeks, especially. Like, you've been in Perth for a month and a bit, and you're just staying up at Joondalup, Maisie was saying. What's that been like? And was the boys get tighter in the hub? Yeah,
compare this year to last year, it's so much more fun. Obviously winning, pretty tight knit kind of guys. But I think the food was unreal this time around, and just good weather, and there's been some really good banter. So. Yeah. It's been enjoyable.
It's underrated when someone's cooking your food every night.
Yeah.
I kind of miss that. Who did you have to room with anyone? You had your own rooms?
Yeah, I had my own room.
That's great. You need to get away from the boys there. That's good.
A bit older now, so I think I've got some rooms.
Who is someone that you've become really close with at the D's?
So a few younger boys that were drafted around the same time, or just been playing the VFL with me, someone like Toby Bedford. Pretty close with him. I've known Maisie for a while, so he's got around me a fair bit, and Michael Hibbard, the pig. So he's
he hates that nickname now, doesn't he?
Does he?
That's what I've heard.
I think it's stuck, and obviously the big fella Max Gorn. So but I guess I'm pretty easy going with everyone. Yeah.
Well, mate, we'll talk about last year's hub later on, and now where you are. But what was grand final week like? The build up, and then afterwards as well.
Boys were really relaxed, obviously, because I wasn't playing. I just tried to enjoy the whole experience. The training was really hard. It was pretty solid. We had a really good preparation, and believe it or not, the twos boys, or the shit kickers, beat the ones a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the match practice?
In the match practice, so...
what do you put that down to? You reckon blokes are trying to push for selection, or the boys are just going easy, you got a granny to play?
Yeah, I thought I might have been half a sniff. So. But no, it was really good preparation. I think boys like Maisie, Track, and all those, they just led the way in recovery and just drove the group. So the boys were well primed.
That's funny while you mention it, the twos v the ones, because when you know you can't play, there's nothing else to do but just try put on a clinic in match sim. And you've only got how many minutes do you give yourself these days? 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes to do. Boys got 10 minutes to put on an absolute clinic. Yeah. Oh, that's a classic. And then obviously the grand final. What were you thinking in the stands at half time?
I was pretty nervous. I felt sick at one stage, just sitting there. Because obviously you never think of losing it. You always think you're going to win. But and I've never been part of anything like it. So we were pretty nervous. But they came back in the second half, and I think we just opened the windows right up, and we were celebrating with the supporters. It was unbelievable. So
yeah, I was there, and I thought it was a cracker. I didn't realise that the game got away from the Dogs. The new boys obviously put on it, but I saw a stat. I think it was after the 16th minute of the third quarter, it became 100 points to 7, and obviously they just opened up. All the fresh legs. Everyone was talking about how their boys are too fresh, which I couldn't believe. I thought being fresh was good. It was unbelievable, and the Dogs put up a cracking fight. It was a great game to watch. I thought. I was on the fence because I had mates at both teams. They're just sitting there wanting a good game of footy, and we got that for 3 quarters. It was elite.
No, yeah, it's probably one of the best grand finals until that 3-quarter time. Just both teams are just so even. Really good matchups all over the ground. So.
And then I've seen heaps of photos and footage. The boys, like some of the songs, like "Sweet Caroline," and like in all the change rooms and after the game, like with the boys.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, I was carrying on like I played. There's one thing I didn't put till now. I haven't put the medal around my neck. I think that's pretty special with the boys. But yeah, carried the cup like I was one of the players.
Mate, why not? And we were talking about this downstairs about how. And by the way, congratulations on the new contract. That's awesome. It's just goes to show like how important you are to the group, and you don't have to play. I think you guys had like the best, run with injuries as well, and it's so hard to get in a team. So it does take everyone, and unfortunately, you don't get a medal. But that cup is yours, and it's everyone else's as well. And I've been in 2 teams that have made grand finals and been, just on the outer as well, and they've unfortunately lost. So I haven't had the opportunity to celebrate like a lunatic, even though I sent it that night with a few of the boys. But yeah, what does the cup feel like, mate? How heavy is it?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like it's heavy enough that obviously I've got big guns and stuff. No, it's heavy enough. But let's just, I don't know, you just keep staring at it and hold it, and just never get sick of it. So it was pretty cool to finally like that's ours. So
yeah, it's incredible, mate. And did you drink a bit of champagne out of it? Everyone would have.
Yeah.
The COVID hygiene thing goes out the door after the game.
I think there's beer, there's all sorts of stuff in there.
That's great. And then, Maisie and Dunks and Croz are on episode 2, mate. They were talking about where they're going, and I think they're at OBH. You boys were at COT, absolutely sending it. I saw track on the decks. How was that? Did all the families get invited back there? And
yeah, so a few guys' families that were here, everyone came through. It was just one big party.
Who was best on? There's always a best on.
I reckon Gorney's probably up there. Harmsy, he was pretty good. Track, he doesn't drink too much, but I'd probably say Gorney.
Yeah, just leads from the front in every facet, on the ground, off the field. Gotta love Gorney. That's great, mate. And then obviously we are 6 days since, so the boys still going. I think I spoke to Harmsy the other day. He said they're just starting to slow up, but it's been a big week.
I'll slow down a bit. I think I'm getting old. But I think maybe tonight might be probably the last night. And yeah.
Most of the boys head back, or there's a few staying over, or majority I think I've seen go back to Melbourne.
Majority have gone back. I head back Monday, so I think there might be some that might stay for a couple more weeks. So yeah.
Would you say this year's been the happiest you've been with footy?
Yeah, it's probably been the most enjoyable. Obviously, like this is when I couldn't get into the team and stuff, but just my old teammates have always said to me, you got to be happy for your teammates and be happy for other people's success. I just can't believe how much enjoyment I've got out of just being a good teammate and smiling around other people. It's been wonderful.
And that's what I was saying off you just before off air, how important everyone that's not playing is. If you got blokes that are the opposite, it's quite distracting, and it's why the D's were so good this year, I reckon, with blokes like yourself and even like Adam Tomlinson, and they were speaking to him about how he's poor bastard's had a tough trot, but he's there, he's in the coach's box, he's doing everything he can do to help the boys. So there's probably another 20 odd like that. Well, mate, that's now. I'm keen to go right back and tell what I think is one of the greatest stories. That's going to be a movie one day, and you're gonna finish with a flag next year, mate. You're going to be holding that. You're gonna have your own medal. Let's go back. So I guess we played against each other in school footies. This is where this all started. I'll tell you how I remember, because I was playing at Salesian. I think I would have been 3 years younger than you.
Yeah.
You're 30 now, I'm 28 in October, maybe 2 years. And we're playing at Coburg. You were playing for...
12, MacKillop College,
MacKillop College. I was playing for Salesian at Coburg, and I just remember going, geez, who's that absolute monster? I remember tackling. I think you cleaned me up. I was an absolute squeeze.
Oh, mate, the school teacher, I think his name's Andrew Exton. I wasn't allowed to kick at the time.
What was the rule?
Yeah, he just wouldn't allow me to kick. So every possession I got was a handball.
Or kill someone.
It was good fun.
Yeah, it was. And I remember that's when I remember seeing you, and then obviously being younger, watching you progress, and you played at the Jets, and then you were drafted in 2011.
2000, end of 09, yeah.
Sorry, end of 09. Yeah. I've jumped the gun there. In the rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Just I remember like everyone remembers their draft day. I thought I was going to get drafted in the national draft, but that didn't happen. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
So what was that like? Because I know a few people that have done the party. Did you have a party?
No, I had my school graduation.
Oh,
so,
right. Same night.
Same night. So
that would have been. What was that like?
It was a bit. It was a bit shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
But because I was Jack Fitzpatrick. I played all my juniors with him, and he got drafted that night. So I guess I had to be happy for him, but I was pretty flat. Yeah. So then, a couple of weeks later, I went and trained with the Kangas and the Doggies. So they were the two teams that were potentially going to draft me, and just before the rookie draft, we just had it at home on tally at Mum and Dad's, and and name got read out, and I was just stoked. And
it's incredible. It's probably, looking back for me, it's one of the greatest moments, I reckon. Like there's the draft, your first game, and then hopefully a premiership. Yeah. But getting drafted, it's probably the hardest part, the opportunity to get yourself there. Yeah. All the driving around your parents have done. It's just it's incredible. And the first ever Sudanese player to play AFL, it must be, like, do you ever sit back and actually think about how big that is?
Yeah, a little bit here and there, because like like boys like Buku and that, and Ali, they're dominating the league at the moment, and to think maybe 11 years ago, they probably, if you told someone that'd be the norm in in the next little bit, they probably would have laughed at you. But yeah, I'm proud, and it's been an incredible journey. Yeah. Hopefully there'll be a few more.
I remember another thing was Scotty, one of your teammates used to play half back. He's quite strong. I think you were playing forward, and I remember this photo where do you remember the photo where you come out of the water at the end of the recovery and the rig, and it went viral, right? Yeah. And I remember him coming down to training, and I was a bit of a squeezer, and I said, "How big is this bloke in the gym? Like, what's he benching?" And his comment was, "Yeah, he's built like a brick shit house, but he's weak in the core."
Oh man, they used to push me around, those boys. Came in, just had the physique, but just wasn't strong enough in the right areas. So
the core, he reckons.
Yeah,
you would have done a mountain of work.
I did a lot of work, and I couldn't cover the ground very much either. So come a long way, and just had a really good program, and got really strong. But Scotty Thompson, he's been unreal. Just helped me so much since I came to the club, and
yeah. Well, he was a beast. Like, I just remember watching. He was pretty quiet, and on the weekend he just used to kick it out and just bump blokes. He's just unassuming. So no, yeah. I remember him saying that, and then 2000, and you can help me. 13, is it?
2013.
Is your first game? What was that like?
Oh, I just couldn't believe it happened. Like, I was waiting for ages, and you know what it's like. You think you're a chance, and then your emergency 3 weeks in a row, and then you don't play, and definitely made me wait for it. But it was unbelievable. I think I asked the club for 70 odd tickets. First game, so I was a bit greedy.
No, it's not. I would have asked for 100.
And I got a big family, so they all came in numbers. But yeah, so
incredible.
Yeah.
What do you remember from the day?
I didn't remember much initially because I got knocked out, got concussed.
Really?
Yeah, got concussed. But it was I kicked my first goal, which everyone wants to do in their first game. Yeah. So and then celebrated. All the boys got around me, and then I think in the second quarter, hit Benny Cunnington's head. So that set the rest of the game out.
I didn't know that. Sorry. Oh, it's good that you got the goal. That moment would have been special. It is hard, isn't it? Like when you're fighting for that first game. How many times did you think you were a sniff before? That's 4 years of hard work to get that one game. Is there any other moments where you're like, I'm in, and then you kind of got stitched up?
Maybe in my second year, I thought I was a chance, and then got injured here and there, and just wasn't ready. But yeah, like I remember Scotty coming up and telling me, and he made me earn it. So he's like, mate, we're going to go with you this week, and just yeah. So.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think you want to earn them. I think that's the blokes that do earn them. There's a reason why you're still playing. You know, it's like an apprenticeship, 4 years, and you see, and big blokes do take a bit longer, which is what I've seen. I think the mids get a bit more of a gig, but the bickies they do a mountain of work, and yeah, they do a lot of contested work, mate. I always watch the rucks out the back, and the boys doing stoppage work. You boys just bashing each other. And then I guess, I mean, this is why, like, you know, your story, we've already spoke about it, and you've just come out and you've just released a book that's already top 10, which is incredible. The courage to come out and speak the truth is unbelievable, and yeah, you're so, you know, it's so inspiring to many. There's a lot of people out there that are doing it tough, and you know, your book, there's no doubt that'll be number one soon, mate. It's only just come out and it's top 10, and I can't wait to read the whole thing. But 2018, this is where we will start to dive into it. But 2018 is your best year of football.
Yeah. So yeah, moved down back. So and yeah, like best year of footy. So.
And then and why was that? Because you changed position, you felt more focused.
First time really in my whole career, got really fit, and yeah, I just felt like everything was going right, and now I went and asked Scotty if I could play down back, and I was a bit scared, didn't know if he was going to let me. He might have told me, oh, you're kidding yourself. Yeah. But yeah, he gave me the chance and trained with the boys, got really close with blokes like Robbie Tarrant and Scott Thompson, like I said earlier, and yeah, I just came in round 4 against the D's. Got taught a lesson by Bailey and a few of the boys, but yeah, mate, it was the best season. And then I think 3 rounds in, I broke my navicular, so was gonna get operated or keep playing with it, and so I chose to keep playing with it for the whole year. And although I was playing good footy, I was in a lot of pain in my foot, so...
Yeah, and that's what people don't see. A lot of people they think this is my break, I've got to stay on the park. Mm-hmm. It is hard, isn't it? You know you can... I mean, I can't speak because I haven't been in that position where it's like... But I know a lot of other players that have got little niggles that they aren't right, but they've got to keep playing and they want to keep playing, and it's like do or die, you know, for their careers, some of them. So you play through the season with this, and then obviously we'll touch on the, you know, I guess what we call rock bottom. Yeah. But what led to that? Like the foot and everything else off field, all that kind of stuff. After a good year, is that what was hard? Because everyone was telling you how good you were going, and you were sitting there going, "I'm actually not going as well as you think."
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was really proud and happy, like the year that I had, and then, but I don't know, it just felt like maybe, you know, like I've been waiting to have this season all my life, and now I'm here. I'm really not satisfied, and I just couldn't figure out why. Yeah. So yeah, that off season, just like you said, you know, what does rock bottom look like? I guess, yeah, was just really struggling with my foot. Went in again for surgery. Was having a lot of issues with my partner at the time, and just everything was just mounting up. And I speak in detail in the book about not going for help or asking mum and dad, or, you know, telling my mates how I'm actually going. So, and you know, like a lot of the boys that play footy, you think you're invincible and, you know, you can do it all, but yeah, it just caught up with me a fair bit. So,
and is that what you'd say, looking back now? That's the one thing you'd change. You because I think I've listened to you speak before, but you spoke to the club doc. Yeah. But you didn't tell your loved ones. Yeah. Why didn't you speak to your loved ones, you reckon?
I just wasn't sure really how they would take it. I was seeing a psych at the time. Was going out a lot. Was drinking heaps. just partying non-stop, and so then and then when I told the club doc, after my first incident of trying to take my life, and so then he said he's been great, Dr. Pete. So he's done so much for me, and puts a smile on my face when I talk about him. Just spoke to him, and we put a plan together. I guess I should have just followed it properly. I thought I was trying to do everything I can, but at the same time, when you try to do it on your own, like some of my teammates didn't know what was happening. My family didn't really know how I was going, and I just needed support. Someone to talk to here and there, someone to check in on me.
Yeah, and I appreciate you telling this. And what was the plan, and what didn't you stick? Yeah. Like what they always say, stick to the plan. Yeah. What was it that you went away from?
So the plan was obviously drinking was a big issue, and I guess removing myself away from situations where I feel like I have to drink, or like socializing with mates. I was seeing a psychologist, but I just wasn't telling them everything. Probably just telling them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So that was part of the plan. The plan was maybe to grow enough courage and tell Scotty, the coach at the time, and then some of my teammates, just to let them know, hey, look, if I come in today, I'm not feeling that well. They'd understand. So I don't have to feel like I have to put a brave face on. So those were the things that I had to do. And I thought, look, I've just played a whole season with a broken foot. Like, this is nothing to me. So and it just caught up.
Did you underestimate, what rock bottom felt like? Do you reckon, looking back?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. And the reason why is because it wasn't a just say like you cut yourself. It's something visible. It's visible pain. You either go stitch it up or put a band-aid on. With this kind of stuff, it just it's a roller coaster of emotions. Some days you'd wake up and not want to go to training, or you'd be around in social settings. That's why I ended up drinking a lot, just to avoid the anxiety. So that's what it looked like. But the reality is, you just gotta face it and go through it. And
Yeah. No, it's incredible. And then I guess this is the next part that's quite tough, and then the Vaulty Bridge incident, where you said you were happy to talk about, which again I thank you for, and it's all in the book. So for anyone that is out there, Majak's just obviously released his book, and it's top 10. And you can get it from anywhere, but you drive there, and the moment where you jump off, you're saying straight away. Yeah. What were you thinking?
Oh, look, I mean, I think when you're in that position, or in those circumstances, I was just in so much pain, and I guess just didn't want to be around and wanted to end my life. And I guess when I did jump, I regret it straight away, and so lucky that I'm still around, because so many people aren't, and that's from then on, when I hit the water, I think I passed out, and I said I just wanted to live. I want to whatever it took to get my life back on track. It was a long journey back. From the bridge to the hospital, and then.
And this is where, this is the comeback. This is why this story is incredible. You get a second chance. When you hit the water, as I was saying, you hit the water that hard. You said you can't remember, but you're in the water, and you swam back to shore.
Yeah, so I swam up to the top and swam to the shore. Broke both my hips, broke my back. So, yeah.
Pain, man. Like, how much pain?
Oh, I think
Physical.
just going off adrenaline, but then, yeah, and then the hospital or the medicals, the ambos came and got me, which I'm forever grateful. You know, if they weren't there in time, who knows? You know, so yeah, they got me, got to the hospital, and then everything from there is a blur. For a good few days. So
yeah. And this is the comeback, and this is where, you know, if you say you're going to do what you're going to do, and we're going to touch on it, it's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and you know what you've done is just incredible. Your path back to life, I guess, more importantly, not just footy, life. Yeah. What was it like? Is that when you go? You know, clearly, you've already hit. You know, now you've hit rock bottom, but everyone is now probably aware. Yeah. What was that like mentally?
Look, I think it was more of a relief. It was like, well, I can't hide. Everyone knows, and I think even more so when I was in hospital. You know, the amount of support, but it was a bit overwhelming because post surgery, I needed to rest up. I was sleeping a fair bit. It felt like an old man. Yeah. So I was sleeping 3 times a day. My life was really structured. I almost had to get hospital staff to put me in a room where they can see who's coming in and who's coming out. I just had a lot of family, a lot of friends. That it was, which is great, you know. Don't get me wrong, but it was also hindering my recovery. So yeah.
And then how long were you? Let's go to the body. What happened to your body?
So yeah, fractured my SII joints. Yep. I think that's what it's called. And so it's pretty much what it rotates your pelvis. So it allows your gait when you're running. Yep. Straightens you up. So that was fractured, and then both hips. So yeah, I've got some pretty big metal wear in there. So they put that in. They screwed that in there, and then first had to learn how to walk. So I was in a wheelchair for a bit, and that was pretty confronting. I think, you know, when things get taken away from you, ability to walk, you know, couldn't shower, and then so there's a lot of steps along the way that I had to tick off before I can walk, and then was on crutches for a fair bit. I wasn't allowed to go home for, I think, a good 3 months. I was in the hospital, and then it was pretty. I started making friends with the old hospital staff, the old ladies and the old men in there. I was in the pool at 7 every morning, and then was out again, and then physio mid morning, and then back again in the pool in the afternoon. So. Yeah, I mean, everywhere I went, it was just in Richmond off Bridge Road there. Like, I couldn't hide. I was walking with a limp, and and then I found out I was going to be a dad, so that was a big driving factor for me to get my life back. And you know, like, Hendrix is around now, and you know, I could run around with him. So. I think it would have been a lot harder for him to have a dad in a wheelchair. You know, just take all those things away from him. So that was a big driving factor. Then obviously footy. So
yeah, of course. And would you say that was your realigning your purpose, and you're like, that's it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love him so much, and I think everything I do now, it just revolves around him. You know, how's he going, and what am I doing? What choices am I making in life to make sure, you know, he's got the best dad that he can, and I guess, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to speak openly about mental health, to try and help other people, but then at the same time, when he's a bit older, that if he ever struggles or goes through anything like that he doesn't have to go through what I went through. He can just come to me or his mum, So
incredible. And when you were doing your rehabilitation, did the docs or the surgeons or the specialists ever tell you anything that, you know, you've now obviously proved them wrong? Did they ever say you can't play footy or you won't be able to do this?
Yeah, I told them heaps of times. Like from straight away, I said, look, I want to get back and play footy. And they said, look, mate, just get back to walking first. So, I mean, there was some doubts there, but looking back now, it's not they weren't allowed to tell me, but they just didn't want to kill any confidence or, you know, burn my dreams. So, but when I speak to them, they're like, mate, we just didn't even think it'd be a chance to come back and play or even run. So, but yeah, the rehab was very was very thorough, and I didn't want to miss anything, and just made sure I was diligent with my work. And part of it was I had to go home after training that I was tired and ready to go to bed when I got home, just because they just didn't want to allow me to have any spare time to be thinking about other things and just to stay focused. And yeah, it was a very strict routine. I couldn't drive for a long time. I had to make sure in my sessions with the psych and the psychiatrist, you know, they said we won't put you on medication, but you just have to stick to your rehab, and that was my medicine. And I was against taking any type of medication. I just wanted to be in control of my destiny in a way. I'm grateful, you know, for that type of advice, because not everyone gets it. Everyone sort of goes on medication, and till this day I don't take medication.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible. And then, I guess, at what point do you return to the footy club? Because I remember seeing this footage of you on the Alter G. We all know the Alter G. If you don't out there, it's the one that takes a lot of weight off your hips, and it's like a treadmill. I remember seeing you first run. Yeah. I guess that was probably a special moment for everyone that's close to you and knows you through footy and all that. But when would you first get back to the club?
It was around maybe 3 months in hospital, and then I came home for about a week and a half. And then they said, look, when come back to the footy club when you're ready. And I was so nervous because, you know, I hadn't seen my teammates for so long, and I was like, oh, what are they going to think? You know, that's mad to try to kill himself, and there was all these thoughts going through my head. But yeah, and it was actually really good for my anxiety, just to overcome that, get in front of the boys, tell them, you know, thank them for all their support, and you know how much I love the club. And as soon as I did that, and everyone saw me, they're like, oh, all right, well, that's fine. We'll support you. It doesn't matter what you go through. We'll always be here for you. And yeah, and just coming in every day, do my rehab, and then go home. And yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Was there anyone in particular that was really strong for you at the club? Was there anyone that you kind of was your duty of care?
Yeah, so there was a bloke, head of strength and conditioning coach. We did everything together, from bike, swim, run. His name's Alex Moore. And then there's another bloke, John Siegel. They were amazing. And then obviously my teammates, Lukey and Garns and Benny. You know, like you can never meet better blokes than those three. So they were huge. But yeah.
No, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. And then this is where it's just, I mean, if anyone listening to this story, like, you're talking how to walk again, you're talking just starting to run. 6 months later, I still remember it, man, like that, the big gun, like, I can't do it any justice, but you've come out, and actually before that you've been announced on the training track, you know, like you're back, and but yeah, you play your first game back in the VFL at Arden Street against Sandringham, and yeah, man, like what was that like? And I think all your teammates were there, and you ran out, and it was just, it was so good to see for everyone. It was so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, and to, you know, I just had to tick off so many boxes, and then you know I was like, well, now I've proven that I can come back and can run and can train, and like yeah, you can play this week, and I went out and played, and it was just in the back of my mind, you know that's what it looked like, that's what my life was at its best, playing AFL footy. We're playing any form of footy, so when I ticked that off, you know, I knew it was like, oh, that's amazing. I always tell my family that if it was, because it was up in Queens, up in the hub. If it was back in Victoria in front of everyone that you know that supported me throughout the whole journey, I think I would have retired then. So
well, that's the next part where we're in the hub together, and I think I'm not sure if we're in the hub at this point, but we were at the end of the 2020 season. The Giants, West Coast and North were sharing the same resort, and yeah, mate, I think it was round 9, 2020, your comeback game to AFL, and you're up by 40 points, and you've marked it inside 50, and you go back, and I mean, talk us through the moment. Can you remember? I'm sure you can.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just searching for a goal all day. I was trying to kick one.
We were searching for it. Everyone was like, we can't. I couldn't believe it, yeah.
I think I had a shot from outside 50, and then I came onto the bench, and the coach sprayed me. He's like, you don't have your 50 license.
You're kidding.
So then I came back out, and Ats kicked the ball to me, and you know, I just went back and kicked it, and yeah, I didn't even watch it go through.
Oh, mate, it was incredible. I mean, I watched the replay before again, and oh, mate, that's you know, everyone would have just heard the story to get to that point. It's so inspiring. It's why, you know, it's bigger than a game. You know, these stories and these moments, it's so inspiring. And then, I guess, hub life. How did you find hub life? Oh, and I can speak for myself. I struggled. Like I didn't have you know, kids, or you know, my family's in Melbourne, but I was injured. I was coming to the end of my career. Well, I wasn't sure actually. We were both out of contract. I remember we were, you know, hanging out together in Jack Buckley's room with Bond, and we didn't know. How'd you find it? Because obviously North were.
I mean, like I've been leaving Hendrix behind, and he was pretty young, and then missing his first birthday, so that was pretty tough. So it was, I mean, to come up there, to come play my, you know, searching for that game, that was a big goal of mine. But at the same time, just wasn't playing as many games, and the club was in the best position in a lot of places. So yeah, I mean, got around the boys a fair bit, just to normalise the struggle, but. Yeah, it was pretty shit.
Yeah, it was tough, eh?
Yeah, it was tough, but I mean, we got through it. Yeah.
We had a few laughs though. Like we definitely, by the end of it, I can tell you, me and Madge weren't really sticking to a few beers in some blokes' rooms because we both knew we couldn't play. But it's crazy because I still remember, you know, you guys had 10 players or something get delisted. You were one of them. What was that like?
It was probably just, you know, the writing was on the wall there. The club was heading to a different direction, but I think it was probably just the way I was told, and I guess after being at the club for so long, I thought I'd be all right for another contract, but I guess there are other players in the same position as me. You know, like J-Mac, he didn't get offered a contract, and I mean, looking back now, it was shit, but we move on, and I always had a goal that I wanted to play 100 games for North, and just fell short of it, so, but yeah,
it is, and it's, I mean, people don't realise, but it's cutthroat, isn't it? Like I was the same. It's once it's over, it's not like, you know, big hugs and that, or you don't get, you know, a lot of people think you get the going away party, and it's not that. It's AFL.com, boys are being cut, or you know, whatever. But everything happens for a reason, and this is why it's a beautiful game, and life's beautiful at the same time. Because as soon as you think it's all over. It's not. I think we were at Bond had his 21st.
Yeah.
I think just before that, a few weeks prior, you got the news. Melbourne picked you up. Where, you signed with someone before that. Who are you playing?
North Heidelberg.
North Heidelberg. So talk me through that. You've just committed there, and then what was the process like when the D's knocked on the door?
So I was thinking a lot of piss, you know, the retirement party and all that stuff, and I put on heaps of weight.
I know you're saying that. Yeah.
So then my brother plays there at North Heidelberg, so I was pretty excited to go and play with him and Boomer. So I was like, well, gonna go play local footy. And then my first training session, I spewed my guts up. I was like, God, like just come from an AFL Cup. Hadn't trained much at all. And then 2 weeks later, my manager rings me. He's like, the D's are keen on you. Would you be happy to go down and train with them for 2 months and see if you can get on the list? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think I can go through this again. But yeah, I'm glad I did, and I went and trained. By the way, I was living in Werribee at the time, so I moved closer to mum and dad's, and then Melbourne trained out at Casey. And for those who don't know where Casey is, it's an hour and a half drive.
Wow.
So, you know, over the West Gate, through the tunnel and out on the freeway. So I was doing that for 2 months straight, and I was getting up at 5 a.m. and then coming home about 6. So I contemplated saying, nah, I'm done, that's it. But I'm glad I stuck with it, and yeah, they gave me the opportunity. So
Yeah. Nah, it's incredible, mate. And we obviously touched on how it's ended. It's crazy. Oh, mate, it's you know, like I said, it's been a pleasure to have you on and tell your story. I've got a couple more questions that we'll reach out in a second, because I really want you to you know, to help. We're both from Victoria, and they're doing it quite tough. What is the best advice you can tell someone that's struggling at the moment?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's really hard to give advice, but I think it's more around, you know, like just seek the help if finding out what you're struggling with really first. If it's finance, if it's relationship, or if it's addiction, and then, you know, I guess if you are someone who is noticing a family member or a friend struggle, just support them and direct them towards professional help. That's what's worked for me best, because, you know, when I caught up with my psych and psychiatrist, there was no judgment. They were there to provide me with the right tools so I can be in control of my life, because, you know, there's a lot of problems that we go through, but it's just knowing that, having the right tools to be able to deal with them. So doesn't mean if problems are going to go away, they're probably going to keep coming. But yeah, you don't want to be in the position where I found myself. So if you've got the courage, seek professional help or talk to someone that you trust, and they can help you.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, your family, your best mates, just anything, be honest. I think that, I mean, I was saying to you before, I've got I'm catching up with someone next Wednesday, and there's this whole, like, I guess, stigma around, you know, I even just saying psych. I reckon people need it. Like, for me, I call it a mental tune-up. You know, it's like going to the gym for your brain, and it's a bit of it's a mindset thing. And the truth is, you can't tell me everyone's humming. Like, everyone's got their, you know, their thing. And I think it's so important that I actually asked the lady I'm seeing. It's funny, I was getting my jab, and I was like, I need to catch up with you. Like, I haven't seen anyone since footy. It'd just be good to, like, check in. But yeah, every 3 months someone should, I think, that's what I've been told, see someone. What is your routine?
Even if you're doing well, like, there's no harm in just checking in. But my routine now is, you know, like, I practice a lot of gratitude, you know, things I'm grateful for. Just strip it back to basics. And if I feel like things are getting on top of me, you know, I just keep it really simple that week. Go to training. You know, I might see a few boys here and there, but just prioritise my alone time, whether that's catching up on sleep or maybe cooking myself a nice meal or something. You know, just doing things that I enjoy, and listening to music.
Yeah.
So just doing things that I know will make me happy. But then nothing beats FaceTiming Hendrix. So that's the best thing. You know, I'm just like, well, every time I see him, he's just so happy. If he thinks I'm this amazing person, then how about I try to be that person?
Yeah, man. Like it's exciting. You get to go. I think you're going home Monday. You get to see Hendrix again, and I'm sure it brings so much joy to you. Mate, I can't thank you enough for coming on here and talking about your story. And the story ain't finished. Like I said, there's a medal going around that neck next year, because that's the dream, and it's great that you're still chasing it. But do you want to tell everyone out there where they can buy the book, where they can head to, the book that you've just released?
Yeah, so it's online. Head to Penguin, and just there's some links there. I think I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's 5 or 6 websites that provide the book, or at all good bookstores.
No, it's incredible, and once again, mate, thank you so much, and I think it's time to head to Freo and have a couple of quiet ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to go, mate? You want to go to Freo or Cot?
Whatever's going.
Tommy, the tour guide, I've taken everyone around, so I think we'll head into Freo and head to the synagogue, I reckon. But mate, thanks again. Appreciate it, bro.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.